Hello ride on people, get your motor running, let's ride.
So here we go, 315 miles in, and what do I think? Well, it definitely has a bit more torque than the 1200 low down, and I think that must be due to the capacity hike from the 1200 to 1250 rather than the shift cam or variable cam, or shift cam rather, VVT. I think it must be down to the capacity height because I'm not really revving it beyond 5,000 revs at the moment because I'm running it in very carefully. And one thing that is also very noticeable is comfort. I really feel it's more comfortable than the 1200. I'm getting less fatigue over distance, and I think that's down to the auto preload. It's the only thing I can put it down to really. It just obviously it's exactly the same seat, same kind of geometry, but I think it's just the fact that it's keeping that rear end at a constant height, and that's obviously a good thing. So I think low down grunt is better, comfort is better. What else? Well, the gear shift seems to be that little bit smoother. It's less noticeable when you're just when you're using the clutch, but certainly when using the Pro shifter it definitely feels that bit smoother, so that's really nice as well. Really like that. These TFT clocks are just beautiful. I mean, they're just so crystal clear. It's so nice to look down and see, you know, how many miles you've done, what your speed is, what gear you're in, what cruise control is set at, what suspension settings are. Very, very, very nice. And I really love the TFT clock, so much clearer than the analog clocks, particularly if your close-up vision isn't the best. I also bought the new Garmin 6. I have heard there's a couple of kind of freeze problems with it, but I've got one, Jerry's got one, and I must say that neither of us have experienced any problems so far, and some useful updates compared with previous versions. My one was quite an old Garmin, so I won't give you a detailed breakdown of the differences, but suffice to say it's got a few more bells and whistles and a little bit clearer in terms of display. If you look at my phone, what a beautiful road. This is the 180 in Georgia, or Wolf Pen Gap Road, and that's one of our favourites. I'm not going to razz it too much today because bike's new, tyres are new, and it's late in the year, you know, it's a couple of days away from New Year's Day. For late December, we'll certainly take days like today where there's not so many tourists around leaf peeping, and we've got temperatures up 58 degrees. That'll work. Very nice. And we've got the road nice and dry today. We've had a lot of rain the last couple of weeks, so this is particularly nice. So what else about the bike? Well, I can say that the whole bike feels that little bit more refined. It's the top end. What I mean by the top end, I mean the kind of top end of the engine in terms of like a tappety type sound of the 1200 is much different with this shift cam. The whole engine is quieter, and the whole movement of it just feels that little bit slicker, a little bit better engineered, if you like. Kind of like the difference between a motor, as I would call it, versus an engine. It feels really more supremely engineered. I'm having to watch myself a little bit on these roads because there's quite, camera won't be picking it up, but particularly in the centre there's quite a bit of gravel about and stuff. So I think it's been a complete hero whilst I'm running in my new bike. Last thing I want to do is throw it down the road. So the back just stepped out very slightly there, but I don't know if the traction cut in, but feels lovely. You know, the whole bike feels very sorted. I'm very pleased I went with the standard suspension rather than the lower suspension of my older machine. It just really gives me a little bit of extra ground clearance through the bends, and I think the whole bike just sits at a better level, and you know, maybe that also really helps in terms of the comfort, because I've got a little bit further range to play with through the whole suspension travel at the rear. But either way, it works well for me. Hopefully the sound is much better on this video than videos of late. I had a few problems. I was changing microphone recording equipment, and then I had a lot of problems with the microphone. I changed the microphone, then I had a lot of problems with the mic covers, and I think I've got it now. I've just had a new dead cat delivered, and if you don't know what a dead cat is, that's basically a fluffy microphone cover, and that can often help drown out some of the wind noise that's often felt on these type of videos. So hopefully you can hear what I'm saying, otherwise I'm just going to have to dub it over or play some music or call it raw sound or some nonsense like that. Isn't this beautiful? I mean, don't you wish you were here on this road right now, riding? I mean, don't really matter what you're riding, if you're on a road like this and you've got it all to yourself, wow, you're lucky, aren't you? Isn't it beautiful? Just gotta love it. It's one reason why Georgia is a little bit of a mecca for motorcyclists, because you don't need to go to the famous roads. What I mean by the famous roads are like the Moonshiners, 28, the Dragon of course, and Cherahada Skyway. You can get on roads like this and just, wow, you know. There's a few days better than having empty roads like this. You don't have to be going a million miles an hour. You just have to be having fun, enjoying your craft, learning your lines, learning more about your bike. Awesome. Oh, that made me laugh. Woohoo! It's like one big roller coaster. It's the guy on the longboard skateboard. Oh, this is lovely. Light traffic, no police, riding with two good buddies. Jerry on his GSA HP 2019, and we've got Paul on his Multistrada. Paul incidentally just rode the 2019 GS HP, not the A, the standard one today, and he really liked it. He thought it was great, so that's nice, another positive endorsement. And maybe he'll consider one. I know he's getting a trade quote for changing his bike to one, so who knows, maybe three of us will be riding the GS, probably A, because I think he sold more on the tank range of the GS A, and of course the GSA has other nice things like spotlights for nighttime use, a much bigger tank for the range of course, and also engine protection bars should you accidentally drop it in a car park or whatever. So that'd be nice, more the merrier, I say. Ooh, quite a lot of gravel there. Well, this is really delightful, just not hammering it at all, just rolling on the throttle, appreciating the grunt of the new GSA. It's probably getting pretty windy on the mic here at 70 miles an hour, but apologies for that, bear with me. I'm sure we've got some slower sections ahead. A little bit damp through here. My bike's got the new Michelin Anarchy Adventure, which is an all new tyre, 2019, and I have to say I'm very pleased with it so far. I've been out on icy conditions where the road's salted. I've been caught out in the rain already, and we've got damp and dry road mix here, and also some dry roads, and just feels great in all of them, to be honest. You do notice, I wouldn't say they're noisy, you don't really notice noise, but you do notice just a very, very slight ripple feel in a straight line. It's not exactly a problem or a deal breaker. It's just because the sipes or the grooves in the tyre tread that dissipate the water, and a little bit greater on a tyre like this, which is a little bit more kind of 80-20, 80 road, 20 off-road if you like, and nowhere near as bad as something like a CK80 or 70 or a Karoo 3 or anything like that, but equally it's not a full-on road tyre either. It's a good compromise if you like doing the old fire trail, which I dare say we'll be doing come the summer. We're trying out some of the local forest roads and having some fun on those. Beautiful waterfall. Oh, I love it here. So we're on our way to one of our regular stops, Two Wheels or Suches. Don't know if there'll be any bikes there today. Usually is, but of course right in the depth of winter, so ironically the only sort of bikes you see tend to be other GS owners, because the GS is pretty unstoppable. You can ride it in any weather conditions to anywhere. You've got all that bodywork to protect your torso, and grips like a limpet. So in any weather conditions, what makes it such a consummate all-rounder, I guess. But God, I love this bike. Yeah, I really liked my 1200, and I have to say a lot of the bikes I owned before that I didn't really like. I didn't really get on with, or I liked certain things about them, but they come with certain caveats, or there's things I didn't like about them as well. But really with this thing, the 1250, I'm really scratching my head to find things that I don't like about it. It really is. It's just a joy to ride. You know, just rolling on the throttle, 3,500 revs, absolutely nowhere near the 9,000 red line. It just feels creamy smooth and lovely. It's a really, really nice bike to ride. It really works with you rather than against you, and you never feel like you're uncomfortably thrown forward or thrown back with too much weight on your spine. Everything, moves very slickly and very smoothly. You don't think it's a great bike, but some kind of caveat. It's got a stiff gearbox, the throttle response is too twitchy, the front brake is grabby. It doesn't have any of those problems. It's just a thoroughly well sorted product now. And if you're in a 1200 GS, there's no urgency really to upgrade. If your one hasn't done many miles or is fairly new, stick with it. It's a fabulous bike. This one just turns everything up that little bit more, whereas the 1200 is a 9 across the board. This is like 11 really in some areas. It's so good. I would say, my only caveat I would say is that if you've got a late model GS or GSA that's low mileage, and you think I'll just try a 1250 GS GSA and see what the difference is, so I know when the time comes in a year or two whether I want to swap or not. I'd say don't ride that thing, because as soon as you ride it, you'll want one. If you follow people like Smokes, for instance, who's a BMW mechanic, and he has a GSA HP in this colourway actually, for as a long-term test bike. He's saying that people with like low mileage 18s are coming in and just trying one for fun, and then having to do a deal on one because they're just falling for it. So yeah, I'd say don't ride it unless you're in a position to do the deal and you really want to do a deal. There'll be plenty of times and opportunities in the future to ride it when the time is right for it to change. But if you're in the market for a new bike, and GSA is on your shortlist, or GS is on your shortlist, absolutely you should ride one, because, you know, why not? And you may decide it's the bike for you, or maybe it will dissuade you. Maybe you're not ready to give up the massive horsepower and race replica handling just yet. But on the other hand, it just might be everything you're looking for in a bike. And for me, certainly at my age now, I'm in my 50s now, I've owned lots of bikes, lots of fast bikes, lots of cruisers and adventure bikes and street fighters and all sorts. This is the one for me. This is the one that can take me and my wife and luggage away for a long weekend in comfort. This is the one that I can ride all day with my friends, come rain or shine. This is the one that makes me want to get it out the garage and ride it just for the hell of it. So if nobody's available, nobody's up for a ride, I would still go and get it out the garage, and I would just, I'll just go and ride 150, 200 miles on it and just ride on my own and absolutely love it. No particular place to go, just go and get lost, discover some new roads, and you've got your GPS to just select home, get you back home again. And in that respect, you don't need other friends, because your GS/GSA is just like having a best friend. It can look after you, it has your back, and it will get you home safely at the end of a lovely day's ride. And here we are, joining Route 60 down to Two Wheels of Suches. Nobody here. Very sad. It's nearly 60 degrees. What's wrong with you guys? I think they don't own a GS. That's my excuse. I'm sticking to it. Great bikes, guys. Go and buy a BMW R1250GS or GSA with confidence. Till next time. Clearly nobody else rides a GS, otherwise they'd be here. The big girls. What's wrong with them?
Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I really appreciate all your feedback and support for the Ride On channel. I hope you're already a Ride On subscriber, but if not, please subscribe straight away. And last but not least, ride often, ride carefully, ride on.